whether they were in North Carolina or whether they were in Maryland, it would have eventually come out. But thankfully, it came out sooner than later, to my knowledge. But hell, any one of us might have something out there that we haven't seen. Somebody using something from our pages. So you just got to be vigilant.
Well, you know what then, Bad? See, this is where you use that new invention I was telling you about last week. You remember that?
Oh, which one? Which one? You tell me about so many.
Oh boy.
That's where you use that new internet tool. Remember we were talking about it? Slapchat.
Which one?
Slapchat.
Oh, Slapchat. Yeah.
You go to the picture of the baby powder icon, and you find the individual. You line it up, and that's it.
That's what it takes, but that's what it makes you feel. It's nothing worse than being angry and you can't get your hands around. You can't touch it and breathe.
That's why you use Slapchat, man.
You can't get.
You go to.
That's right. You need that.
You go to that baby powder icon.
Somebody out there needs to make an app.
That's all he do.
The baby. Somebody needs to make an app out there. I shouldn't even put this out there. I should be the one to make it. And make an app that is the equivalent of a clicking up the phone. I miss hanging up the phone on people when they do some ridiculous stuff. Now you just press a button, you get it out. I want to be able to like clang the phone down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Coming to get you. But now I got a Slapchat. So Slapchat will work. I think you ought to get that marketed. Chief, get that.
That's right. When you just had enough and you can't get your people in line, you line them up.
What do you do, Chief?
What you do is you find their name. You find the name. So let's say it's I don't know, Susan. And you know what I mean? And you line up and you get her face, you get her picture, and you hit the baby powder app, and then you call them saying, "Okay, Susan." And that's it.
Dumb. Just dumb.
Susan, you picked the wrong night. You picked the wrong night. You picked the
See, I guess I'm old fashioned because I like the old big old can of whoop ass. I'm coming to find you and I'm whooping your ass.
You can't say ass. Don't
Okay,
say ass on Wednesdays.
That's
no.
right.
And if I could have found that guy who was asking for
It's
money,
not Ass Wednesday.
I would have.
It's not Ass Wednesday. That's right.
That's right. It's right before Easter. It's Ass Wednesday.
It's right before Ass Wednesday.
That's right.
That's Slapchat.
Oh, jeez.
But that's the deal. That it just shows people so unstable and unpredictable, and and it's not just the young folks. I mean, it's some of these older folks that for instance,
like that. Oh, go ahead. Like that fool that threw the kid over the balcony at the mall because his girlfriend rejected him, some woman rejected him.
I guess we're
He's
going to a
an
new
old fool.
topic. We're going to a new topic now.
Oh, am I straying?
No. We love those transitions, Miss Susan.
It was a snap. Yeah.
Do that. What's wrong with you? You lost your mind up in here.
Jumping all over
the place. What the hell's wrong with her?
Toby. My name is Toby.
The hell's wrong with you?
Grits, dummy.
All right, I got it straight then, Bad. Let's continue our discussion.
I'm glad I know. Sometimes it pays to be remote. But people are it's not just the young folks. This is a matter of this is a way of life for them. They but some of the older folks are doing it too. I can't tell you how many times that I've gone on Facebook and maybe liked a picture, or and then no sooner than I click like, I get a phone call.
A phone call?
Like from somebody who isn't writing any call and catch me. Someone, I may have liked a picture on Facebook. Someone may have tried to reach me a couple of times on the phone, and they hadn't caught me. And then they find out I'm on Facebook, and just coincidentally happened to call my phone the minute I'm on Facebook. Something. As soon as I post something, ring the phone. I'm like,
See,
Are they stalking me?
Yeah.
that's
See,
why I
Are
don't
they
mess
waiting
with
to
that
see
stuff
what it is
now.
I'm saying?
That's why I don't mess with that
Yeah,
stuff.
and but they'll swear they won't because if you say, yeah, I saw you on Facebook, so I figured I'd give you a call and just tell the truth, they try to make up a lie, which is even sicker than in the first part. You know, no, I didn't. I just thought I'd call you up. Yeah, okay. Because it's happened before, and then when I'm, then I've gone on, I've liked something, my phone rang, and I wouldn't answer it. Then, a couple of days will go by, and then I'll, go on and I like something, and then my phone rings. I'm like, this is a pattern. These folks think they're slick, but because they assume that, like, you can't be on Facebook without being on your phone.
well, I tell you, and I'm glad
Crazy.
it is crazy, and I'm glad Miss Susan gave us a nice transition, and of course the chat line's blowing up, and we got one chat that says, "What about old boy telling the world about his fellatio and booty escapade?"
Who was that?
Had you heard that one, Thin Bad? Thin Bad, you there?
What? Who? Oh.
Who was that?
Talk about that
Oh
one.
yeah,
Thin
I'm
Bad.
here. I'm fighting.
What'd you say? I think we're losing Thin Bad.
Oh, what are you talking about? Was it the Wendy Williams thing?
Yeah, let's talk about let's talk
I
about
don't
Wendy
know what's
Williams.
going on here.
No, well, wait. Go back to what you just said.
Yeah, this one came off the chat about old boy telling the world
Who
about
is
his.
the old boy?
I don't know. I didn't know whether you knew about that. His fellatio and booty escapade.
I don't know. I remember.
I mean, is that R. Kelly?
Yeah, it's just crazy. So
Oh
That's
gosh.
the only
no,
person I
well,
can think of.
it's R. Kelly-ish.
Oh yeah, ish, because he denies everything. That's right.
Yeah,
We're gonna check that
but
one
it's
on the break.
kind of like him.
But of course,
Yeah,
and then of course,
I can't think of the game.
well, we're gonna figure that one out because we have to talk about it. And of course, the other thing on the chat was, what about Wendy Williams? How you doing?
How you doing?
I think those things are tied together.
Huh?
I think the end you were talking about and the Wendy Williams situation are tied together. They're joined at the hip, no pun intended.
Oh boy. Well, since
Maybe pun intended.
shut up.
Toby,
Yeah,
Toby,
quiet with that
Toby.
nonsense. But
Kuta,
with Wendy, I mean, wow, where do you start with that?
We start with she had to have known years ago. Okay, that's where we start.
Well, why do you say that?
You just
Susan, is it safe to say, Susan?
don't-
Is it safe to say that a woman always knows?
A woman always knows. Come on, man. Intuition, cars missing. You're here, there, everywhere. Rumor mill. Come on, man.
Well, let me ask you this, Miss Susan.
I'm just saying.
Why do you think she stayed? In all seriousness.
Well, some women, she said a long time ago that was her type. Kevin is her type. She likes thugs. That's what she said. And her parents really didn't approve because of that, but she went on and married him anyway. So I guess she really loved him.
Oh my God.
And okay, so later on it gets complicated because they have a business relationship too. So just saying.
Well, I mean, they had a lot of things going on there. I mean, they have a child involved. And,
He's 19.
yeah, but still, he's still a child. And but when you start thinking about the impact that has, Wendy probably thought of it, believe it or not, more than he did, because this guy was, at least according to the reports that we were seeing, he was really putting it out there that he was really into this lady. They were seen in different places and shopping and driving his car and her car and all that kind of, the normal relationship stuff that you would normally see with folks. So, I mean, he really put it out there. And so, but it's kind of interesting, according to the reporting yesterday, that he was apologizing.
Really putting it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, he was apologizing and I'm sorry and all this other kind of stuff. But when he was out there flaunting it, he really didn't seem to care at that point. That's interesting. And and the other thing, it's ironic, and I hope that since she's gone through this, maybe Wendy will also just kind of think a little bit about how she puts other people's business out there, because that's regardless of the situation, that's a hurtful thing when you're going through that kind of stuff. We've all been through bad relationships at some point between, junior high and us being 900 years old. And so because Wendy would put your stuff out there, man. She'd say, "Oh, we saw such and such, and he was in the car. Come on, come talk to me." You know what I mean? And she made a lot of money,
doing that.
And of
She
course,
sure did.
but of course, the appetite was there. The public wanted to know what is Malik Yoda doing, or what is Holly Berry doing, or whoever the celebrity was. So people wanted to know, and so Wendy was only giving the people what they want, so to speak. But hopefully now that she's been through it, maybe she can, put a more humanistic spin on things.
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. It's just the whole thing is ridiculous. I know people have their stuff. I didn't even hear the first time I remember hearing about Wendy Williams, who she was when they went through the whole, Whitney Houston, crack is whack thing, and how she was, kind of all over Whitney about her situation and her troubles. And then, you talk about chickens coming home to roost.
Mm-hmm.
Or, as my grandmother used to say, that's all right. Everybody gets a chance.
Wow.
Everybody gets a chance. So, you're right, Chief. When you're in that seat, doesn't feel too good, and you just hope you don't wish to see anything bad happen to anybody, but once they're in it, you can only hope that they come out of it differently and for the better. Like they say, the clay can't hold nothing until it's been through the fire. So we had to figure that out. So maybe she'll come out better on the other side.
Well, and I have to share this from the chat room. One of the comments was, why he busting out Wendy's husband after they done the deed. Talking about he only lasted 30 seconds in his booty. What the hell?
Who? What?
See, that's the story I heard. That's that dude.
Right. That yeah.
Wait a minute.
Talk about it, Wendell.
Yeah, help me out here, because I'm not understanding.
Why'd
this.
I have to know this? Why you got me saying? I'm just,
Talk about it.
I'm as lost.
Speak on
I'm
it,
as
Pinback.
lost. But it was, I don't know. There was this young guy who claimed to be, he's married now, but he claimed at one point he's a singer. And somebody can find his name. Maybe someone listening will know his name and know the story. He has a beautiful voice. Sounds kind of like Brian McKnight.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways better than Brian McKnight. But he was in search of a record contract, music career. So he had approached, I think that's how he and Wendy's soon to be ex-husband met, that he was going to get him a contract and a record deal.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned into something else. And the guy, I remember seeing a clip somewhere that he said he was, whatever Wendy's ex-husband's name is, Kevin's boy toy, and how Kevin had assaulted him and raped him and all of this stuff. And mind you, the whole while he's telling the story, his wife is sitting right next to him. So it's like, and you know the story, and she's like, mm-hmm. I was like, what is going on?
Wow.
I mean, it just says so much about kind of where we are as a society. On the one hand, that this is even quote unquote newsworthy. And then this young dude who's just starting out, I don't think he was 30 years old, and he's starting out and wants a music career. I don't know who the hell's going to sign him now, with all of this stuff out there. So I don't know what that does to his career. I don't know, is it over before it starts, or do people not care? They're like, you know what? We don't care what he does. He has a nice voice, and we'll bring him on. But it's not so much the voice; it's the drama that comes with it.
Yeah.
And and record companies don't have time for that. They don't have time for that kind of foolishness. So I don't know what the ins and outs are, but it's crazy.
Well, let me prevent. Wow. Let me present an alternative to that. How about this? Now,